Welcome to the K11 Conversation, a multi-platform dialogue series where we discuss the intersection between creativity, culture, and innovation. In our current panel, we have invited Sam Hines and Cristina Wang with us. Sam Hines has been working in the industry for over 20 years, achieving many records for watches that he has sold. And we have Christina Wang, who is our NFT specialist with a background of contemporary art, and she has just recently joined us. So to tell everyone about what it is, and I believe we have a video to start off. There will be 100 hand-drawn works by Gerald Genta in 3 upcoming series of online auction, and in Hong Kong, from April 13th to 17th, we'll be having a pop-up at the K11 MUSEA for exhibition. Can you explain a bit more on what the sale is about?
Yes, absolutely. So, hi everyone, I'm Sam from John's colleague in the watch department. So we've already had one auction of Gerald Genta unique designs. Now, having been in this business for roughly, 20, 22, 23 years, Gerald Genta has always been very well respected. But in recent years, his watches are the hottest on the market. Now, Gerald Genta was a artist first. He was a man decades before his time, and to think that he designed many iconic watches: the Cartier Pasha, the Patek Philippe Nautilus, the Royal Oak from Audemars Piguet. Many designs are credited to him, and so in Hong Kong, so we had the first sale in Geneva. There were 30 works, and each work is paired with an NFT. Now, Christina is going to talk a little bit more about NFTs because, quite frankly, I'm still trying to keep up and learn about them myself. But here is one highlight. So at the moment, we have the Hong Kong sale that's running live. We have 34 designs, and the first one here that I want to point out to many of our listeners or watchers, this is the Patek Philippe Nautilus. Now, Gerald Genta designed this in 1976, and legend would have it that it took him 10 minutes to design. But as you can see, the design is still incredibly relevant today, decades after he designed it. And what's unique about this particular drawing is it comes with 2 options. You have a thicker case and a thinner case, which is quite rare for these drawings. Now, Genta, he designed a watch every day. And Evelyn Genta, who is the wife of Gerald, is a close personal friend. I've known her for many years, and together with Evelyn, we created each auction, and we basically wanted to have a themed, curated auction in each of our selling centers. So the first sale was in Geneva. And in Geneva, we sold the Audemars Piguet Royal Oak original design from 1972, and that sold for a staggering 560,000 Swiss francs, and it was actually purchased by Audemars Piguet. And so in Hong Kong, we sort of have came up with a concept to offer some of the works that are specific to Asia. Now, Gerald Genta and his wife spent a huge amount of time in Asia, and Gerald Genta, the brand, was actually purchased by the Hourglass in the late 90s. So they were always in Hong Kong, they were always in Malaysia, Jakarta, China. So if you go to Sotheby's.com, you'll see the 34 works. We have obviously the Nautilus. There is also another Nautilus design with a strap. And as watch collectors out there will know, Patek Philippe didn't introduce a Nautilus on a strap until the 30th anniversary, which was in 2005, I believe. So that was something again that Gerald designed in 1976, decades ahead of it was ever even put into production. So this is the Nautilus. It's currently listed. The bidding is up to 3 million Hong Kong dollars. And what's great about these works is, watch collectors can buy them. They can, display them. But it's such an interesting project because, we're not selling watches. We're actually selling the design, something that no auction company has ever done before. So this is a design for the handover when Hong Kong went from being British to being, handed back to China. You've got Mickey Mouse holding the Union Jack, the flag of Hong Kong, and also the China flag. And then, this was created as a limited edition, and it was manufactured by Gerald Genta in 1997. So the next highlight from the Hong Kong sale, this is the Grand Complication wristwatch. Again, Gerald Genta designed and manufactured these Grand Complications. I think they made about 20, and incredibly hard to make in terms of watchmaking. If you look at the design, you've got all these different dials. The watch was made as a grand sonnery. You've got all these different sort of tourbillon functions repeating. So it's incredibly rare. And this was made at a time when watch companies were not making Grand Complication wristwatches. So again, Genta ahead of his time. This was in 1994. And Patek Philippe, I think they didn't introduce their Grand Complication wristwatch until 2001. So yes, and then the next highlight would be, so this is a watch which was created and manufactured by Genta, and it's actually, the name is sort of the Chinese zodiac theme, and this is the year of the horse, which you can see why it's called the horse. But he actually made or designed one for each of the 12 Chinese zodiacs, which is quite cool. And I think in this sale there's 3 or 4, and there's also some animal series watches as well. So if we go to the next slide, and Genta was also known for making these fabulously these fabulous clocks. Basically, he handmade the clocks himself, and they were done in different series. So here we have, a perpetual calendar clock in the center, and then these sort of 2 eagles that were made to very, very high quality, and they're also set with precious stones. Here we've got sapphires, and this is quite nice because it's sort of larger than the other designs, and so I can't recall exactly how many clocks the Genta company made, but this again, was completely groundbreaking in 1994. No other brand had ever made anything like this, and again, just a real illustration of how Genta was really ahead of his time.
How do you think the NFT market has influenced or impacted the luxury market, especially for watches?
Yeah, so going off of Sam's knowledgeable explanation of the watches, because first of all, I do want to bring in the reason that Sotheby's is doing this pairing of Gerald Genta and the NFT collection. First of all, because, Gerald Genta was someone ahead of his time. He was not just a designer, but a true artist. He actually started off his career as a painter. And I think I read it somewhere that he once said that although he himself was a watch designer, he hates when his ideas or designs gets locked up in time.
Right.
This quote, first of all, it reflects his visionary mind to always embrace this new technology, new mediums in his designs. But also, this is exactly why this project worked out so well nicely in the NFT format. And, with NFT, because it's a it's a decentralized platform for or ledger for users to store units of data forever on this network. So, in this case, we are immortalizing Gerald Genta's design. And it's also a completely transparent network for everyone to keep track of these sketches of their sales record in the future. So whenever the holder of the sketches in the future wants to resell his work or her work in the market, it has to come with the NFT certificate. So this comes a perfect way to prove the authenticity of the work. It's a perfect proof of the provenance. And, we can always see when a work is sold, for how much, to always analyze the market, the trend of these works, and to keep track of these sketches. Because to my understanding, Gerald Genta was a extremely prolific artist, right, Sam? He produced over thousands of sketches in his whole lifetime. And it's for collectors nowadays, especially for these works on paper, it's very easy to get lost or for them to get damaged. But with the help of blockchain technology, with NFTs, now we can keep track of every single work anytime, as long as there's internet access.
Because Sotheby's have minted all of the NFTs, and I guess you just have to have your own wallet, and then you transfer ownership into your wallet, right? Is that
yes? It's a digital proof of ownership. Yeah, so it's it's a lot easier than as a collector to be always carrying around a piece of paper with you, right? Because you never know when you're gonna lose it someday.
And we do know watch collectors who don't retain their certificates. So it's a way to have a solid authentication that this is the original prototype design forever.
From my understanding, when in the future, if the buyer of this NFT decides to resell it, it would benefit back to the designer of the heritage. Which,
yes,
exactly. So there is a fee that's paid each time it's transferred. But if the metaverse is, if one day, if we're going to have a digital representation of ourselves in the metaverse, Cristina, tell me if I'm way out of line or not in line with the market. But if we did, like John, if you existed in the metaverse, technically you could use one of these NFTs to design a watch that you would buy and wear for yourself.
Yeah, it's totally possible, and it's already happening. Yes, so Nike has already invested in a digital design brand, and this allows its own community, its own collectors to have digital design of their sneakers. So, and many other fashion luxury brands have all now invested in digital blockchain technology and to really expand into the metaverse. So I think that, with the help of virtual reality technology in the future, this will definitely be possible for watches collectors to buy the designs, purchase designs and NFT, and to realize it in physical, physical or not, or they can either turn into a physical watch with the help of manufacturer, or when, as you said, when they have we all have our digital representation in the metaverse, they can just wear a unique digital virtual watch, basically.
So what is the metaverse, Cristina?
I think of like what is that? Like the Avengers or the Force or something. I mean,
you mentioned Star Wars, right?
It's all around.
Shall we talk about Sotheby's Metaverse then? Metaverse is really just a gathering place for everyone in the digital world to exchange their ideas, to communicate, and it's all about sharing and getting together. And Sotheby's is so far the only auction house that's launched its own metaverse platform. And we have in last year in 2021, which was a huge year in Sotheby's NFT history, we launched our pack sale, and then going from there we quickly launched our curated curated natively digital sale that has showed auction debut of a group of digitally native artists. So these artists, they were not represented by any galleries or any big brands, but they were received in the digital world by the community, and that's where value comes from. So again, I think Metaverse has proven another opportunity for a generation of younger artists, and which is also why in this case for Gerald Genta, who was someone really passionate about nurturing the younger generation of designers, because the nature of NFT to support a younger community of watch collectors, and this is also a perfect chance for existing watches collectors to bridge into the digital world, and at the same time for young crypto enthusiasts to come into the watches community, for them to gather together and share their collection.
And Cristina, you mentioned a very interesting point, that part of the proceeds of the auction will go to benefit the scholarship program for young artists who the Gerald Genta Foundation actually supports and helps them get up and running and everything. So thank you for bringing that up too. But Cristina, many people say that NFTs is like a bubble; it's going to all burst. And I mean, what do you have any views on that? I mean, is it here to stay, or is it just like the theme now, and then next year there's going to be something else, or what do you think?
I think, first of all, because NFT is just really integrated on the blockchain technology, and no one can really deny the fact that blockchain technology has really been revolutionary to many industries in this world, and that we already see big changes happening right now. So NFTs is just really a component of the whole blockchain industry, and it's more about, I think here we're really talking more about the technology instead of the individual projects here. And so I think, as you mentioned earlier, part of the sales proceeds will be donated to the foundation. And I wanted to go off on that because, NFTs in this way, because of the copyright integrated in each transaction, like whenever there is a transaction, a percentage of that transaction will always go back to the creator of that NFT. So in this case, the artists, the designers, they can be directly rewarded from every single transaction. And and for a collector out there, they can keep track of these sales record on open market, and it's completely transparent to everyone. So it really offers a different perspective to collectors out there, and especially I think in this case for watches collector is really watches, I think, is really about the art of collecting, because these are collectibles that holds their unique value. True. And for NFTs in this case, it's the same, because NFTs allows people with similar aesthetics, with shared values, to gather together in one place to exchange their thoughts and ideas, and also to share their NFTs with each other. So, in this case, I do think the two components in the sale resonates really well with each other.
Yes, absolutely. So in the metaverse, then you use Bitcoin and Ethereum to pay for things. Is that
correct?
Right?
Cryptocurrency.
Yes. Oh, and we do accept cryptocurrency as well for payment for the original prototype designs with the NFT. So that's another
So
thing to know.
how does that work, Sam? How did they calculate the currency or the exchange for the crypto?
It's a good question. Perhaps one for the CFO. No,
Okay.
there was an agreed rate at the beginning of the project, and yes, we already sold 30 or so drawings. The sale in Geneva did extremely well. We had a pop-up in Geneva where we on very large screens we illustrated each of the designs in a sort of rotating fashion, and our pop-up at K11 will also feature similar screens, similar sort of layout to the pop-up. So we really encourage anyone who likes watches or is interested in watches to come and check them out, because it's a once in a lifetime thing. And being a complete watch geek myself, I think it's terrific, and it's something that our industry hasn't done before. And Genta himself, he retired. When did he retire? But Evelyn was telling me that he would design a new watch every single day. At home, he had his studio, and each of the designs are on very similar blue
Sorry,
pieces.
Evelyn is. You mentioned the name Evelyn. Yes, who's Evelyn?
So the wife of Gerald, a terrific lady, really terrific, but is a great lover of the arts and the watch business, because Evelyn sort of managed the company, Gerald Genta, and if you look at auction results, the prices for his watches are incredible. Like if we take the Nautilus, right, a 5711, the stainless steel standard Nautilus, which Gerald designed in 10 minutes in a restaurant in Geneva. The retail price of the watch is about 240,000 Hong Kong dollars. The market price today is 1.6 to 2 million Hong Kong dollars. So just to illustrate the demand for his watches, but it's not just the Nautilus, it's the Royal Oak. It's the 50-year anniversary of the Royal Oak this year. And prices, as you know, John, have doubled, tripled. I mean, it's incredible. And in addition to having these 3 themed curated auctions, we will be, so the next sale is in Hong Kong, and then the final sale will be in New York. And the New York theme is sort of Disney, because he had permission from Disney to create all these unique Disney watches, which are fabulous. And in Geneva, in the various owners watch auction, we will be offering Gerald Genta's own personal Royal Oak from 1978. Gerald had the bezel changed to a gold bezel. So we have a gold bezel with a steel case and bracelet. And there are many photographs of him wearing this watch. And it's arguably the most important Royal Oak in the world. And in addition to the Royal Oak, we'll have 4 oil paintings, which are on this sort of Royal Oak or Nautilus theme. So I'm sure many collectors would want to acquire them for their offices. But it's very exciting, and we really encourage everybody to come along, and we thank K11 for their gracious hospitality. Yes, and there'll be a digital representation of Chan and Cristina there. Come and meet them in the Metaverse. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Well, this will happen very soon, Sam.
Yes.
What happened
there in the Metaverse?
It's frightening, isn't it? How quick. But isn't it true? By the time an NFT is thought about and created, it's already there's something new. Like,
sorry, say that again.
The market is moving so quickly that the time you think about something and create it, it's already outdated.
Well, not necessarily so, but it's very fast moving for sure. Like in the past 2 years, I think the volume of transactions in crypto has gone up more than 60%. So it has been a tremendous 2 years for the whole crypto community, and it definitely shows everyone the potential and the strength in this field. And me personally, I'm very excited to be witnessing the sale of this collection as well, because I think it really opens up a new door for the watches community, because it shows the potential and opportunity to turn a first of all, to turn a watch design into a digital replica, to turn it into a digital community. And this is super encouraging for the younger generation of designers, for them to be creating in this new medium. And because as you said, for someone like Genta, who was literally painting and designing every day, I imagine it has to be very difficult for him to keep track of all his designs or to preserve them. And
Yes.
With the help of digital technology, the designers can now just design on a digital medium and upload their designs into the cloud or into the metaverse, and they can just access their designs whenever and anytime, wherever they want. And it's safer and much easier this way to protect their designs, their ideas from external environmental risks.
What's the cloud? Is that another metaverse or?
You can go onto your iPhone.
Oh, iCloud. Okay. Who's the most famous NFT designer?
Wow, there are already so many.
Like who designed the ape?
Oh, that's by Yuga Lab.
CryptoPunks?
Yeah, the company behind that.
And the CryptoPunks?
CryptoPunks is already sold to the Bored Ape company, actually. So they're now merged together.
Do we sell them?
We've sold them actually, and it was a record-breaking lot at the time.
Oh, how much did it make?
Oh God, you're testing me. Should we go back to the slides?
No. But
Yes.
Like what we sold, like how much has it gone up in value from when it was created?
Yeah, well, so so as you said, this record-breaking result also shows the potential of NFT. And in this time in the Hong Kong Contemporary Art Evening Sale, we're also including a pioneer in the digital art field, Robert Ellis, his iconic block painting in a Contemporary Art Evening Sale. And again, we're accepting crypto payments on that lot as well.
Oh, speaking about evening sales, I understand that Evelyn has also partnered with Damien Hirst regarding to an NFT launch last year. Am I
Oh
right?
well, no. So during the meetings that we had, because Evelyn, her daughter Alexia, the family of her son, the family are very much involved in the sale. Now, it's because it's his legacy. It's it's so personal, and to get it right, we held a meeting every week, and we would discuss different topics. And one of the advisors that Evelyn brought in was the man Paul Haig, I think it was, who
Yeah. He was advising Damien Hirst
his NFT project last year. So so we really had the best advice from the leading brains in the business. They got
so but this is not the first time for established artists to be stepping into the NFT field. And I mean, in the contemporary art perspective, there's been recently there's Murakami's NFT and there's Edgar Plan's NFT. So, but I think in Gerald Genta's case, it's only natural for us to present him as a giant in watchmaking, watch designing history, to be the first person to be paired with this revolutionary technology at Sotheby's.
Yes, exactly right.
Well,
And you know, one reason why we separated the sales out into different locations is so that local people could, or collectors could come and actually view the works themselves. And it's has had a huge, very positive feedback, and it's fun. You know, every lot is no reserve. Let's see if the Nautilus can make more than the Royal Oak did. It's like a battle of the titans at the moment. You know, will the Royal Oak beat the Nautilus, or will the Nautilus beat the Royal Oak? Let's.
But these designs are really at the core of these watches, no?
Yes, these are the designs that Mr. Genta went to Audemars Piguet because they asked him to design a sports watch. Now, in 1972, a Royal Oak A series retailed for $4,000 US. That was absurd. No one would, like, in the business would ever charge $4,000 for a stainless steel watch. Again, decades ahead of his time, because now all collectors want their steel watches. So, but you can see the design, you know, 50 years ago is still as relevant today. It's quite incredible. And I think the great thing about this is, I think people didn't realize how many watch designs Gerald Genta is responsible for. So it's sort of like a nice, you know, we can, what's the word? Get more academic. We can, you know, learn a little bit more as well. So that's always good.
Yeah, well, in the exact same way, when you said the watch was sold for 4,000 at the time, that was an absurd price. So maybe, you know, like, looking at our board apes, you know, people, when it's sold for millions of dollars now, maybe it seems quite shocking at this moment. But I hope that in a few years, looking back, more people in the future can realize the potential in crypto and the potential in the NFT market.
Yeah, it's definitely a very interesting sale. It's a time where we combine it's a first where it combines a watch designer designs with an NFT that has never appeared in any other auctions before. So I think especially today in this market where watch and NFT are both very, very popular. So I think it will be a great opportunity for everyone to come visit us at the K11 MUSEA pop-up from April 13th to 17th again. And for more K11 conversation coming your way, stay tuned to K11 MUSEA social media platform and to the K11 Hong Kong app, where we discuss the possibility of tech in food, robotics, sustainability, and more. Thanks for listening, everyone.